Okay guys, welcome back to part 2 of our 124 Tamiya Honda NSX / Zoom Type R build. So we're back after getting all the bodywork sorted last time. Today we've got part cleanup. Probably my most hated task of modelling, just because it's all I seem to do. Now, one thing we have changed here is the background. We've gone to white. Now, initially I thought it looked better, but watching back on the editing of this video, it appears to play havoc with the autofocus. So let me know what you think. Is white better or is the normal blue better? Let me know in the comments down below what you prefer. Go back to the first video and have a look. But yes, as you can see, the focus struggles. So I think it's just because it's a white background, it struggles with the autofocus. So I think we're going to have to go back to blue. So clean up using various UMP sanders. We're going to clean up all the parts. As you can see, we've got them all cut off. It's not a massive part count kit, but there are some tricky parts to clean up which have got multiple seams on them, multiple angles. But a little bit of time and patience should get them all cleaned up. So like I say, using a combination of UMP, thinny sticks, sponges, etc., we can get all cleaned up. We're going to glue the engine halves together nice and gently here, nice and carefully. So nice engine in this. It's got a full engine in the back of it, and because we've added the Type R mesh screen on the back, we can actually see it through the rear window, which is another nice touch again. So looking around the various references of the engine, it came in a few different guises. A lot of the cam covers are either black or red, so we're going to go with red on ours. And it's actually, as I said in the first video, the actual base kit of this car from Tamiya, for the price point, which is about £20, is a really good kit. So yeah, don't dismiss this one. Now we've got a bit of photo etch to go on top of this engine cover here. So we're going to remove the raised detail from the kit using a trumpeter chisel, just to gently remove it without any damage. So just very gently, don't slip because these things hurt when they stab you, but just very gently go over it and just keep removing it until it's gone. We'll then grab a UMP customizable sander, cut to size as you can see here, and just gently sand it until it's all gone. Like I say, we've got a nice piece of photo etch to go on that. Then, like I say, the very laborious part of going around cleaning all the parts up. It is my most hated part of modelling, and it's the stage I'm at with my current build, which is the Ford GT. Tamiya's fairly new Ford GT, which I'm building for our supercar build, and it always puts me off wanting to go back to building the kits. My favourite bit is painting and the final assembly. This bit in the middle I really hate. So yeah, a little bit of a chore. Normally either in the hangout with the guys or some good tunes on, music on, and get this job done. So we're going to glue together the exhaust. I'm just using the instructions and trying to see what I can glue together so that I can paint things at the same time. And this way it makes you a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for is, I've forgotten. Anyway, we've got the rear engine cover. This is a resin piece, so we're very careful with this. We're going to clean this up again with some sanders and keep test fitting it. And there we go, we've got a piece of photo etch to go in there as well. Steering wheel, again, nice pour plug on it, so we'll just gently snip that off at an angle behind, and then we'll sand it smooth. Efficient is the word I was looking for. There we go. If you batch paint stuff, my compressor agrees, which always seems to pipe up when I'm doing these. It makes it more efficient because you're painting and priming everything at the same time. And if you batch it all together, you can paint all the different colours at the same time. Now, the resin's very clean on this Transkit, but there were a few wispy bits of flash in amongst the wheels. So using a micro cotton bud, it just grips the flash, pulls it off, job done. Really easy. Like I say, really high quality resin on the Zoom on parts. And then just a quick go over on this seat, because it just had a little bit of a seam along the top edge. Really nice seat, this one. Very, very nice. And like I say, we've got the photo etch for the engine cover as well. And again, top quality photo etch, top quality decals as well. We've got some Bob Smith Super Gold, which we are also now selling on Pro Scale. We've got the full range of Bob Smith super glues, kickers, debonders on the site as well. So go over there and have a look. We've also got the storage boxes I use to keep my models in. There's a few of those left over on the site as well. And we are ever expanding our paint range every day and getting Zoom on orders in regularly as well. So we're going to apply the Bob Smith Gold Super. It's sparingly around the outer edges because we want this to be glued securely in place, but we don't want CA glue all over the model. We're just going to very, very gently get it in place. I'm just looking to see which way around it's supposed to go. Careful of glue on your fingers. Line it up. There's a nice little recess for it to sit, and it fits in there absolutely perfect. This is my first time using Zoom on. I'm very, very impressed with it. Yeah, very high quality stuff. And you're going to see another Zoom on Transkit from me for our multimedia GB, which is coming up very soon at the beginning of April. And I'm going to be doing the Fast and Furious Skyline, but not the Fast and Furious colours. I'm going to use our anniversary paint on it, so you're going to see that coming up in April. And what I've done, I've put the engine cover in place here, where it sits, and then just popping the glass on to make sure it all fits, and it does. Now, those seats come with some very nice Photo-etched mounting brackets. So these need bending into shape. So I've got my small shop tools Photo-etched bending machine. And we're going to bend these 90 degrees. And then bend the legs with our Photo-etched pliers. So line her up on the machine like so. You're basically putting the edge of that guide on the piece of Photo-etch you want to bend right where you want it to bend. So you get it lined up perfectly and then tighten down both the knobs where you want it. Not cheap tools these, but an essential one to have in my opinion. You don't have to pay a lot, and sadly small shop tools are out of business now, I believe. And these are very well made, very well made. But Trumter makes them, and a few other companies out there make them as well. And using a larger blade, we just bend it 90 degrees. And as you'll see, we have the perfect 90 degree bend. Absolutely perfect. We do that for the other side as well. Again, just line it up perfect, right on the point you want to bend it. There's normally a little indentation in the Photo-etch. And then grab our large blade again, slide it right up, push it right up against, and then fold it up 90 degrees, and there we go. Job done. Nice and easy. Having the right tools is a massive help in this hobby. So yeah, and then we got our cheap Expo bending pliers. I'm just going to bend the feet of the seat at an angle. So basically bend it down and then the other piece up, and it creates like a foot. That will allow it to sit where we need to sit on the chassis of the car. And then we've got the adjustment bar at the front, which will also angle up as well. So really nice mounting brackets, and these fit in the car absolutely perfectly. So yeah, no complaints with the Zoom on stuff at all. Like I say, first time using it, we've become a stockist of it. We have sold a ton of it. It's flying out the door. It's very high quality products at a really good price as well. And they sell everything from Transkit, seats, wheels, accessories like gear knobs, rivets, decals, carbon decals, polishing sets. Absolutely superb. With both of those bent, it goes in the pile of stuff to prime. And then all the other PE, all like the grills and the meshes, we're cleaning up with our Zoron shears to get rid of the actual fret points. And if needed, we've got our Tamiya diamond file in there to clean them up as well. And there we go. And then using a tongue depressor with some reverse mounted Tamiya tape, we have a perfect mount for mounting up our Photo-etch in preparation for primer. So there we go, just fold the edges down so you got a sticky edge, and that leaves the sticky part upmost. And then we can pop our Photo-etch on with the facing up where we want to paint. And then we're in the paint booth. So we've got some Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. This has been thinned about 60% with Mr. Hobby Level and Thinner. And I popped it in one of our empty Pro Scale paint bottles, which you sell on the website as well. We've got our Iwata. That looks to be my HPC Plus. We'll have a look in a second. And we're going to put down a couple of light coats of primer on the chassis. Build up nice and slow. It is indeed my HPC Plus Iwata. We're about 18 psi, and we're just going to build this up nice and slow. I really should have my colour cup lid on, as you can see by the spill on the bench, but I really like living life on the edge, you know. Danger is not my middle name, it is Michael. Yes, there we go. Getting all those wheel arches in and around the engine bay as well. Getting a nice coat of primer down in preparation for our paint. Same on all the other parts as well. Basically, anything that's going to be painted metallic or black, I prime in black. Anything that's going to be a really light colour gets done in white. And it's going to be a medium colour like blues, greens, etc. I'll do in grey. And anything red, I'll prime in pink. Sorry if you can hear the seagulls outside. It's like the film The Birds. I'm being attacked. The seagulls squawking, which to be honest usually means it's going to rain by me because I live on the coast. But yes, I don't know, they might be mobbing crows or whatever they're up to. But anyway, a couple of coats of light primer on everything. And then we can let that dry and come back and start getting our base colours down. Like I say, really nice engine in this kit. It actually looks really good once it's in the car. Any photo etch, except for this piece, I have primed in Pro Scale Photo-etched Prime, which is an etch primer. Because this is on resin, I opted just to prime this in Mr. Servicer 1500. Like I say, a couple of light coats on this, building up nice and slow. We get a nice primer coat. Same on the dashboard as well. Dashboard, excuse me, on the real car, looks to have like an Alcantara feel to it. I can't really replicate that, so I'm going to go with like a grey-black interior. We're going to flock the carpet, and our seat will be red, as all the Integras have. So yeah, it's not a bad cockpit for a Japanese car. I always found it a bit bland and boring, but on the NSX, it's actually quite a nice cockpit. The seat mounts as well, they've been primed in Photo-etched primer and then primed in Miss Servicer black again. And then we've got some Tamiya white primer now. And we're going to prime up our wheels. So white primer on yellowish white resin. It needs very light coats, getting it inside as well underneath and around the outer edge. Now the reason I don't use Pro Scale primer, because a few people have asked me, is our primer is a microfiller. So unless you can get in there to sand it, it's going to drive a bit of texture. So sadly, it's not the best for small parts like this. Now I'm looking into trying to get a smoother primer, so stay tuned on that one. For the engine covers, these are going red, as are the seats. We're going to prime in Tamiya pink primer. My supply of this is quickly running out, and this is really hard to get in the UK. But thankfully, Mr. Servicer bought out a pink variant of their Mr. Servicer, funnily enough. And I have a couple of bottles of that to try when this runs out. Pink primer under red just makes it absolutely pop, and I would highly recommend doing this. We do a pink primer Pro Scale if you're doing car bodies. I'd highly recommend using that under anything that is red, because it makes the red so much more vibrant. Well worth using. And again, we're using our HPC Plus. We're about 18 psi, and just putting a couple of coats of primer down on everything where required. So there we go. Onto the wheels now. We're painting these in Honda Grand Prix white again. I've got colours mixed up there. Is it Championship or Grand Prix? It's Grand Prix. Championship was the first one. So basically the body colour on the wheels. Several light coats of this. You can see just spinning it around in my fingers. Getting in and around the top, around the outer edge, and underneath as well. Just to give us a nice uniform colour. And for the red seat, no mucking around. Mr. Hobby GX red. Super pigmented red paint. Get it on there. Absolutely beautiful red. Did contemplate using a Pro Scale one, but I'll be honest, I couldn't pick a red to use. And this was in the drawer next to me, so I grabbed this and thought, let's use this. And yeah, it's a nice red colour. It does drive a bit of a sheen, so we will dual coat this later on. But for now, there's our nice red colour. And the same colour on the cam covers and engine covers on the car itself as well. A couple of light coats. And there we go. And then another coat on the seat as well. When you're doing the seats, the back of these is going to be like carbon composite, Kevlar, wherever the hell it is. Make sure you get around the back a bit as well, so you don't leave any bits exposed where the carbon's not going to sit. For the rest of the car, all the black work is going to be Tamiya LP5 on the running gear and what have you. So several coats of LP5 and all the black parts like this. Same on the engine cover as well. Oh, kick out of the way. Geez, a bit angry, wasn't he? Get out of the way. And the same on all the grille parts as well. LP5 to give us our nice satin black colour on those two. Now we've got some Pro Scale bright aluminium silver on the chassis of the car. Looking at the real car, it has a silver chassis. Whether it's true, don't know, but all the references I saw showed that. So our metallics, I'm very proud of these paints. They are absolutely fantastic. Super finely pigmented, as all our paints are. You should never find any large pigments in our paints. I substitute all the large pigments for the smaller variety of the same kind, so that way they are scaled properly. And our colours, the metallics, you'll see this at the end, they are so super finely pigmented, they cover so well. We don't overthin our paints, so they cover absolutely beautiful. As you can see, almost one coat almost gets complete coverage just with a light coat. And the more you build it up, the smoother it will get. And you'll see on the chassis in a bit just how beautifully smooth this paint dries. So the bright aluminium on all the running gear and the chassis, like the A subframes and what have you. There we go. Let's get all those nooks and crannies. Beautiful. Very, very nice. So yeah, it's going to be a nice car. It's going to have the nice, beautiful white exterior, those red accents on the interior and the engine, and then beautiful silver running gear underneath. Really, really nice. We get some nice turn metal exhaust for it as well, which are a really nice touch in the kit. And yeah, really happy with this kit when it's done because obviously I've already built it. Engine's getting the exact same colour. And like I say, you can see just how well our metallics cover. You're getting 30 millilitres of paint for about £4. Well, it is £4. So it's a good ratio of paint because things like Mr. Hobby Super Metallics, I think they're about £2 to £2 to £3 on. It might be dearer now, actually. And you've got a thin nose, so you're not getting as much paint for less money. And I would say our paints are on par with the Super Metallics from Mr. Hobby. And they were by far my favourite metallics before ours. Super finely pigmented, absolutely fantastic colours. I'm building the colour range all the time. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions for colours, let me know. But as you can see, beautiful, dries really quick. I'm just spinning this round, spraying a very light mist of metallic all over it. And we're getting an absolutely fantastic finish. Now the interior, I've gone with Pro Scale black grey leather. Just so it's not a monotone black piece. I thought I'd add a little bit of a different colour to it, and just very light colours. Now always be careful spraying parts like this. Normally the door cards are separate on interiors. When they're not, you can get paint swirling, so be careful here, and that's the turbulence of the air coming back at you when you're spraying it. It can dry your paint and make it appear powdery, so do very light coats on this. Don't be hosing the paint in. Just so you don't get that effect, because it can leave like a textured effect behind. Thankfully, again, our paint's super forgiving to use, so really easy to do. So all the interior has been painted in the black grey, bar the seats. And speaking of the seats, we now have some Kevlar. Is this Kevlar composite? I think it is, isn't it? Like fiberglass reinforced Kevlar. Now, the first seat I've already done. I tried to apply this decal in one go, and it just wouldn't go down in one go nicely. So I cut it up as I went along. On this one, I'm going to cut it up now and apply it all separately. So I'm going to apply it with the center section first, and then realize it's better to put the sides on first. So you'll see, this is the way to do these seats 100%. It just makes them fit so much better, and you're not fighting with seams or creases. Trust me, I've done a few of these now, and this is by far the best way. So I've started by putting the middle section in, but as I'll figure out in a bit, I'm better off taking that off and putting the sides on first. They just seem to fit better. So I'm trying to get it all lined up where I want it. Get some UMP strong decal solution on our water brush. And then we're just going to brush it on, let the decal solution do its work, and start to soften that decal and get it in place. Heat is a massive benefit as well on the decal, so The heat guns from Amazon, you're going to see in a little bit, are a worthwhile investment. And as you can see, trying to get the side on and line it up, I was like, yeah, I've not quite lined up there. So let's take that off, float it in the water to remove any decal solution and put it back on the backing paper. And then we'll get the sides on each side, get it in place perfectly. Decal solutions, again, working absolutely fantastic. You can't beat the UMP decal solutions. And we'll do the other side as well, because these butt up right to the edge. I nearly ruined this decal, very nearly ruined it. It folded over and I was like, uh-oh. So if you ever do that, pop it back in the water, get it wet, and then gently grab it with your tweezers. I have sped this up a little bit. Yep, get it in place. I thought I'd show the whole process of this side seat so you can see how I did it. So these side pieces are going to go in one place. So if I can get these butted up and set in place, we know then where the centerpiece goes is basically the only place it can go. So decal solutions, getting it set in place, like so. There we go. Make sure the other side's okay as well. A little bit of heat to help conform them. The heat helps massively with decals. And then another burnish down with the brush just to get it all in place. And the finger is a great tool for decal. Just be careful. Don't be too rough. Get all the edges down in and around all those strengthening ribs. Then we can get our back piece again, moisten it a touch, drop it, and then get it lined up so we see no gaps at the back. It's all lined up at the top, and then we can set this in place. Much easier, so much easier cutting the decal up. And yeah, really nice seat. Looks really good. So we'll keep conforming that till it goes where we want it. A little bit of heat as well to get it all finally set in place. And there we go, all done. We've got several decals to apply to the wheels, including some absolutely microscopic ones, which you're going to see in a second with some badly zoomed in footage. You'll see it any second now. These decals are absolutely minuscule. There's three decals per wheel. Yeah, when you digitally zoom in, it's not the best, but sometimes it's the only way I can show you guys stuff, because if I zoom in too far while I'm working, I'll end up going out of camera shot. So it's a fine line here between working properly and showing everything and showing you fine detail like this. So sometimes I'll digitally zoom in, but it does get very grainy. As you can see, we've got some decals there. They're the Type R decals. They are absolutely tiny, very fiddly to get in place. Once they're in, get all the moisture out from behind and then hit them with some UMP decal solutions again. We've got a Honda badge, and there's another badge as well somewhere else as well. I'm pretty sure there's 3 decals on these wheels. Or am I thinking of the Skyline? I might have been thinking of the Skyline. Instrument panel, you get a couple of different choices in the zoom on set, which is nice. I went for this one because it looked a little bit more interesting. So we'll pop that in place, and again, get it set in place with the Ultimate Decal Solutions. And then the Honda badge on the steering wheel as well. This is the resin steering wheel, which is really, really nice. There we go. And then the Recaro decal on the seat back as well. And again, a little bit shiny, but we'll take the shine off these in a little bit. And then a panel line. So we're going to go black on the dashboard. It's a dark grey, so black will be quite subtle. I'm just going to pop it in any recess, let it dry, and wipe it off. Same on the center console piece, which has a gear lever on it, gear stick. Just apply a wash to it, let it dry, and wipe it off. Steering wheel, yep, nothing to put a wash on, so we'll leave that be. While that wash is drying, we're going to attach the steering wheel to the steering column. Now, this kit comes with a left and a right-hand dashboard, which is very nice, with a left and right-hand steering column too. So again, another nice touch in the kit. A little bit of CA glue, we can get the column and the steering wheel in place like so, get it lined up properly. Bit of a blow, bit of CO2 out your breath, helps to dry super glue. And then we're going to brush paint our calipers. Now, there's photo etch for the brakes, so don't need to be super neat with your painting, but obviously the neater you are, the better. I just went for black on these because it seemed to be mostly what the real cars are painted in. And I'm using some Tamiya, I think it's X1 gloss black enamel. The enamel paints are fantastic for brush painting, as long as you're not going to touch them for a while. And then we've got some black and white mix to make like a off black with the enamels to do the CV joints. And again, carefully brush painted and left to one side to dry. It's a funny thing with the running gear because I never ever show it other than in a video. I'll never take a picture of it for Facebook and what have you. I never look underneath the cars in my display case. I only look at the tops. And yeah, I spend so much time painting them and detailing them. And basically it's for you guys out there, because I think if it was just for me, I just paint these all one colour and just think, oh, it's done. There you go. But then you're not making the best of it, are you, that you can? You pay for the kit. You might as well enjoy the process. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Do you guys out there, do you pay attention to your running gear? Do you paint everything? Or do you just do it so it looks okay? Right, the seats. We've got some Testors dual coat. Sadly, you can't get this anymore. I'm lucky to have 2 bottles of it. Any matte clear will do. Tamiya, Mr. Hobby GX, whatever you've got. And I'm just putting down a couple of very light coats of the matte just to take that sheen off the seat. And that's looking much better now. Makes it look a little bit more realistic. Of course, these are like an Alcantara material. And there we go. We're going to leave that there for today. And we're back for part 3, the final part, next time. As always, you can get early access to all these videos and loads of other perks by becoming a patron down below. And a huge thanks to all my current patrons whose names are going to flash up on the screen at the end of the video. Catch you next time, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.